Part 73. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 721. The old man glared at Lu Yu. At this time, Lu Yu was completely speechless. What can I say? What else can I say? Just follow it honestly. Lu Yu didn't know where the old man was going, so he could just follow him. While wandering around the city, Lu Yu discovered something different. There is a city within the 7th Great Wall, but there seems to be no city within the 8th Great Wall. Old man, was the 7th Great Wall also built by the gods? Lu Yu asked. The old man waved his hand. Yes, but no. Is that what it is? No. The old man pointed to a body on the roadside. This is the 7th heaven period, the master of the universe. Lu Yu followed the old man's hand and looked at a body lying on the ground. Perhaps because of the black fog, the corpse was relatively well preserved. The corpse looked like it was still human. It's just that there are some differences in the details. For example, there is a closed eye in the middle of the forehead. This is the three-eyed god clan. It was very powerful back then and was thought to be able to save the entire universe. But unfortunately, the three-eyed god clan was destroyed. The old man's words made Lu Yu confused. What does the three-eyed god clan have to do with the god clan? Hearing this, the old man paused. The blood of the three-eyed god clan flows within the god clan, but in essence, they are two races. What do you mean? Lu Yu became more and more confused. The old man suddenly became patient and spoke slowly. To put it simply, the three-eyed god clan lost. They couldn't deal with weirdness. Therefore, this race was eliminated and the god clan was born. Do you understand what I mean? You mean, every era changes, life will evolve, Lu Yu said. The old man nodded when he heard the words, that's the truth. Every era changes, accompanied by the destruction of a powerful race, which becomes a passing cloud. New life will evolve and try to solve strange problems from another angle. But it is a pity that until your generation, there is still no solution. Of course, there is a little hope in you now. The old man glanced at Lu Yu. This made Lu Yu somewhat silent. Every time heaven is destroyed, life will evolve. According to this, the entire universe has evolved 9 times, right? On the Great Wall in front, there might be other races that existed as the rulers of the universe back then? It's just a pity that they are all dead. Lu Yu felt a little regretful. This kind of change that life makes to adapt to the environment is too cruel. It often spans an era, and countless creatures die. The old man patted Lu Yu on the shoulder. Actually, it's quite good. It has evolved to your generation, and the tail grows from the back to the front. This is already quite a progress. I am very pleased. Lu Yu. Suddenly, he didn't feel sad at all. How many times should I say it? That's not a tail. That's a sword. A man's sword. Just when Lu Yu was about to have a good chat with the old man, heavy footsteps suddenly sounded in front of him. Weird. You go? Too. Good boy, you haven't learned how to respect your elders at all. The old man sneered. Lu Yu curled his lips. I don't think you care about children either. Are you talking back to me? Go. Let him see what it means to be an invincible Xiaoqiang. The old man slapped Lu Yu on the back. Chapter 0545. There is Yan Ruyu in the book, The 6th Great Wall. After rubbing his back, Lu Yu felt depressed inside. Why do I have to do all this dirty work? Just because you are older enough to be my great-grandfather? Lu Yu was very annoyed. He looked forward. A strange creature from the Taisha realm has appeared in front. This strange creature stared at Lu Yu with a smile on its face. It's just Tai. Before it finished speaking, Lu Yu punched it away. Be a villain in your next life, Don't talk so much nonsense. Lu Yu clapped his hands and walked back. The old man looked a little surprised. You kid can do it? One punch will kill you. That's not true. A man must be able to do it in seconds. You're right, a man must be able to take seconds. The old man nodded with approval. The two continued to move forward, and Lu Yu didn't know where they were going. The old man, on the other hand, seemed very familiar with everything here. Lu Yu followed the opponent with ease. Time passes, I don't know how long it has been. When Lu Yu was already feeling dizzy, the old man finally stopped. Arrive. The old man spoke up. Lu Yu looked forward and saw a small wooden house standing alone. For some reason, Lu Yu narrowed his eyes the moment he saw this cabin. Old man, is there a secret from the seventh heavenly kingdom hidden here? Yeah, big secret. So best. Lu Yu felt happy inside. What he needs most now is this information about various heavens. The more you know, the clearer you can see the source of the strangeness. Lu Yu no longer thinks about the existence in the coffin. Think about how to kill that strange source first. Following the old man to the cabin, the old man slowly pushed open the wooden door. Creak. A dull opening and closing sound was heard, and what Lu Yu saw was an ordinary house. Old man, this doesn't look like anything, Lu Yu said with a puzzled look. The old man glanced at him and snorted. That's because you can't see the way. Take a look. What is this? As he said that, the old man threw a book over. The font on the book was a bit old. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 722. Lu Yu didn't quite understand. What kind of book is this? A book that will make you realize so profoundly that you can't help yourself. When Lu Yu heard this, he became energetic. Martial arts during the seventh heaven, or something else. Worth your reference. With a learning attitude, Lu Yu opened the title page. In an instant, what caught his eyes was a profound picture. I only saw in the scroll. Hey, wait, why does this look wrong? Lu Yu glanced at the illustration, his eyes blank. Then he turned a few more pages. I saw that each page is a paragraph of text, matched with a picture. Lu Yu couldn't understand the text, but he could still understand it by looking at the pictures. Looking at it, he took a breath. The book has its own golden house, and the book has its own beauty like jade. Young man, isn't it good? Lu Yu. He dropped the yellowed book with the outer cover and sighed. Stop joking, I'm not interested in these now. You're not interested in women anymore? Hey. What a pity you have such a long tail. The old man sighed immediately. Lu Yu, too. No, old man, there is nothing else in the seventh heaven. What do you think the seventh heavenly court has? If the three-eyed god clan really has a way to break the situation, the human emperor will know it. If you can break the situation, he should have given you the method long ago, and you still need it. Try to find. The old man glanced at Lu Yu. Lu Yu completely collapsed. Then what are we doing at the seventh Great Wall? If you don't go over by the seventh Great Wall, how can you fly over from the top of the Great Wall? The old man looked at Lu Yu with more and more disappointment. Hey, I didn't expect that you are not only not interested in women anymore, but you are also losing your mind. Silence. Lu Yu fell into silence. What the hell? As if he guessed what Lu Yu was thinking, the old man snorted and smiled. I know you can't keep your temper. Where are you now? You can't even stay at your own home. It's really difficult. Come with me. The old man took Lu Yu out again. This time, the old man stopped before he had gone far. The two of them seemed to be in a square. On the ground, there are countless runes at the moment. This rune can help us teleport to the 6th, 5th, and 4th Great Walls. Which one do you want to teleport to? Can't you teleport to the first 3 Great Walls? Lu Yu asked doubtfully. The old man shook his head. Don't think too much about it. The first 3 Great Walls cannot be teleported directly. Okay then, let's teleport to the 6th Great Wall first, Lu Yu said after thinking for a while. The old man didn't waste any time and directly poured his power into the runes engraved on the ground. In an instant, a bright light burst out from the runes. Boom! 2 beams of light enveloped Lu Yu and the old man. The next moment, the 2 of them disappeared. On the 7th Great Wall, 2 rays of light came out from the Great Wall, instantly crossing the endless black fog and heading towards the 6th heaven. This naturally attracted the attention of many strange beings. They wanted to take action, but without exception, they all failed. After a few minutes, Lu Yu and the old man stopped. Looking at the Great Wall in front of him, Lu Yu looked thoughtful. Compared to the 7th Great Wall, the 6th Great Wall is obviously in worse condition. All the city gates are gone, and there are huge cracks in many places in the city wall. Come on, let's see if there's anything in here. The old man took the lead and walked into the city wall. Seeing this, Lu Yu didn't hesitate and immediately followed. Entering the 6th Great Wall, a feeling of deathly silence came over you. Everything was quiet, not even a sound could be heard. What made Lu Yu most confused was, why didn't I see any weird creatures in the 6th Great Wall? Even the black mist is extremely thin. Have you noticed this problem too? The old man glanced at Lu Yu, and his expression gradually became serious. Lu Yu nodded. There should be a problem here. Be careful. The old man didn't say much. Lu Yu nodded again and then moved forward. Compared with the 7th city wall, there is no city in the 6th Great Wall. After Lu Yu and the old man entered the city gate, they faced a walkway. It was completely dark, and it was only the 2 of them who created the light themselves. While moving forward, Lu Yu did not forget to observe his surroundings. It's surrounded by stone walls, that's for sure. Apart from differences in construction techniques, the materials used in the Great Wall of the past dynasties are almost the same. They are all planets. In addition, Lu Yu also saw many corpses under the stone wall. These corpses were also not corroded by the strange creatures, but turned into bones. With the arrival of Lu Yu and the old man, these weather-beaten bones instantly turned into dust. Lu Yu felt very sorry for this. They are all fighting for the entire universe. Lu Yu sighed inwardly, but his footsteps suddenly stopped. In front, a person's back appeared. Chapter 0546 You are actually an undercover agent, Heavenly Teleportation Formation. A silhouette appeared in front of him. Lu Yu's steps suddenly froze. So does the old man. One old and one young, they all became quiet. You coming? Too. Lu Yu. The old man smiled. Boy Lu, I think it's better for you to do it. No, I've already had sex once. That's not what they say. He who can do it should work harder. I have kidney deficiency and I can't do it now. The old man said. Lu Yu. What the hell can I say? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 723. Everyone says that they have kidney deficiency. I can't say that I am weaker than you, right? Damn. Gritting his teeth, Lu Yu looked at the back in front of him. This back is obviously a man. But the problem is, the atmosphere here is so weird now. Lu Yu doesn't believe that the other party is fine. Forget it, don't panic, I won't die anyway. Calm. Lu Yu comforted himself and then looked at the back. Handsome guy, hello. Lu Yu asked tentatively. But the result was that the back did not respond. Lu Yu. He was too eager to get a cold shoulder. Without any sense of frustration, Lu Yu mustered up his courage and looked over again. Appointment. This time, the other party finally responded a little. His body trembled, and a wisp of black mist emerged. Good guy? Weird creature? Lu Yu narrowed his eyes and the Fuxi sword appeared in his hand. I didn't expect you to want to fencing, you have ulterior motives. As he said that, Lu Yu stabbed his back with the sword. Swish. As expected, Lu Yu stabbed the opponent through with the sword. And before Lu Yu could breathe a sigh of relief, suddenly, the overwhelming black fog poured out from the opponent's wound. The man turned around, his eyes were closed, and tears of blood flowed. Only the third eye grew on his forehead, this eye was strangely black, staring at Lu Yu. Prince. Before Lu Yu could react, the old man behind him suddenly shouted. Lu Yu took 2 steps back, his expression a little solemn. Old man, what does Prince mean? It's the son of the human emperor during the 7th heavenly court period. Judging from the situation, he just used his body to seal the strange black fog in the entire Great Wall. The old man looked serious. Then what? Lu Yu's eyelids twitched, and he suddenly had a bad premonition. Then you broke the seal with one sword. The old man looked Lu Yu up and down. I didn't expect that you were an undercover sent by the weird creature. Lu Yu. My mind is broken. What else can I say? Boom. The next moment, the body of the crown prince quickly turned black, the flesh and blood collapsed, and only bones were left. The black fog replaced the original body. Ha ha ha, you trapped me for several epochs and finally let me out. Which friend let me out? A hoarse laugh sounded again. Old man? Lu Yu, you still say you are not an undercover. Lu Yu. He looked at the weird creature and took a deep breath. Shut up. Weird creature? You let me out? Good. I won't kill you today, and ask the old man next to you to come and die. Okay, Lu Yu, you are really in the same group. The old man was shocked. Lu Yu. He touched the Fuxi sword in his hand, and the next moment, he slashed it. Boom. Instantly, the strange creature lost an arm. You actually hurt me. The strange creature roared in anger and fought with Lu Yu. Lu Yu was in a state of distress now. This guy just said a few words, and the old man simply didn't believe him. You are a jerk. Lu Yu slashed at the strange creature. The old man next to him watched with relish. Jackass, I didn't expect that you, Lu Yu, actually have a son this old. It's really a father beating his son, no, it's a son beating his father. The situation has changed. The strange creature reacted and chased Lu Yu to beat him. His realm was obviously not the third realm of Taizé, suppressing Lu Yu. But even so, he repeatedly attacked, but could not cause any injury to Lu Yu. Every time he thought he could kill Lu Yu disappeared instantly and then recovered. This shocked the strange creature. Are you a forbidden creature? Aren't you talking nonsense? Lu Yu backhanded a sword and landed on the head of the strange creature. Instantly, the head of the strange creature fell off, turned into black mist, and reappeared on top of the head. Hee hee, so what if you are a forbidden creature? You will die today. The strange creature roared again. Lu Yu looked at the old man next to him. Old man, attack. It's okay, I just like to see you get abused. I add hashtag, you and your uncle. Lu Yu cursed, and the next moment, he disappeared. Disappeared directly on the spot. The body turned into countless units smaller than atoms. Instantly, the old man was stunned. The strange creature was also stunned. Gradually, he looked at the old man. Old man? Damn you, you are not kind. Bang! The strange creature attacked the old man. Lu Yu's figure condensed next to him. He curled his lips and sneered. I don't know who is so dishonest that he still wants to say something bad about me. You kid, I'm so at hashtag at. An hour later. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 724. The old man struggled to wipe away the last ray of black mist. He lay on the ground, gasping for air. Old man, I haven't been so violent in many years. Hey, I just want you to exercise because you haven't exercised for a long time, Lu Yu said with a smile on his face. Next to it, there is a field of melon seed shells. Old man. Okay. You are so cruel, old man, I will remember it. The old man stared at Lu Yu fiercely. Lu Yu shrugged and picked up a jade plaque on the ground, which had just fallen from the strange creature, the Crown Prince. What is this? Lu Yu looked puzzled. The old man glanced at it and snorted coldly. It should be the key to the heavenly treasure house. Is there such a good thing? Lu Yu was shocked. If you think about it with your feet, you all know the treasure house of heaven, it must be awesome. But the old man sneered. What are you thinking about? The treasure house is good, but whether there is anything in it or not is the same thing. All right. Lu Yu nodded with slight disappointment, then put the jade token into his space wrist. It's better to keep this kind of thing. What do we do now? Keep going forward and see if you can find some records about the sixth heaven, the old man said. Lu Yu nodded when he heard this and continued to move forward. Walking in the dark passage, it seems like there will never be any light. Lu Yu didn't know how long he had been walking, but the front suddenly became clear. It is a dilapidated square with many stone pillars surrounding it. But now, all these stone pillars have fallen down. At the same time, the number of corpses in the entire square was frightening. Lu Yu took a cursory look and saw at least tens of thousands of corpses. This should be the teleportation array of the sixth heaven. You can go to the sixth heaven's heaven. Chapter 0547, Cutting the Capillaries, the Majestic Heaven. You can go to the heaven of the sixth heaven. When Lu Yu heard this, his expression was slightly surprised. We can go to the sixth heaven from here. Lu Yu's tone was a little exciting. There is no way, although I have always heard that there is a heaven. But in fact, he had never been to heaven at all. In Lu Yu's impression, heaven is more like a noun than a specific place. And now the old man actually told himself that he could go to heaven here? The old man nodded. You can go to heaven here, but you also need blood sacrifice. Come on, no chance. Lu Yu shook his head. Don't even think about it. Going to heaven may require some direct bloodline. But he and the old man are both descendants of future generations. However, the old man shook his head. That's not what you said. The human emperor's blood sacrifice should be enough. Just the human emperor's blood? Lu Yu was surprised. The old man nodded. Yes, every human emperor can go to any heaven. I see. When Lu Yu heard this, he suddenly realized. Every time, according to the inference, he is now the 9th generation human emperor? You should be able to try it then. We walked to the middle of the square, and there was a groove there. However, Lu Yu's eyelids twitched. What kind of sacrifice is this? Is this meant to drain people dry? The groove of Nema can fit a person into it. People in the 6th age might have been bigger than they are now, so the grooves were also designed to be bigger. How about we not go? The old man said. But Lu Yu shook his head. No, we can't miss the 6th heaven. As he said this, Lu Yu took out a knife and stabbed himself in the leg. Lu Yu was very satisfied with this sword. Finally, it's not a water gun anymore. But next to him, the old man was dissatisfied. Where are you, Kid, cutting the capillaries. Let me help you speed up. As he said that, the old man struck the main artery of Lu Yu's leg with a knife. Laugh. Blood spurted out like a high-pressure water gun. Lu Yu. Why are you looking at me like that? You can just put it together anyway, how about this? I'll beat you to pieces with one punch, wait for you to activate the formation, and then restore it, to cheat the formation once. The old man suddenly had a strange idea, and Lu Yu's whole body trembled. I didn't expect you to be so harsh. What a serious statement. Young people don't even donate their blood. How can their health be cured? The old man smiled as he watched the blood level in the groove continue to rise. Finally, with Lu Yu's pale face, the formation was slowly activated. White light emerges. Lu Yu gritted his teeth to stop the bleeding and looked a little relieved. It finally works. No, there's still a little blood left. The old man suddenly said, and then he struck Lu Yu's leg with another knife. Lu Yu. Half a minute later, Lu Yu felt a little emotional as he felt that he had lost half his weight. For the first time, it feels so easy to lose weight. That's not it. Get ready to start teleportation. 2 rays of light enveloped Lu Yu and the old man. Boom. The next moment, the entire Great Wall burst into light. A terrifying power of teleportation enveloped Lu Yu and the old man. The next moment, the space shattered, and one old and one young disappeared directly into the sky above the 6th Great Wall. Endless void? Looking at the space outside, Lu Yu looked puzzled. Where is the location of the 6th heaven? No one knows. The location of the heaven may not be within the universe. Not within the universe? Lu Yu was shocked when he heard this. The old man glanced at him. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 725. Are you surprised? If the location of Heavenly Palace is within the universe, if something strange comes to Huanglong, everything will be ruined. Huh? According to this meaning, Wei Wei cannot find the location of heaven. This is not absolute. If all the creatures in the outside world die, no one in heaven will be able to survive. There are many things involved. All right. Lu Yu could only nod helplessly. The teleportation light continued, and Lu Yu didn't know how long it had passed before it finally stopped. Boom. The transmission of light seems to have broken some boundaries. Then it slowed down until it dissipated. What appeared in Lu Yu's eyes was desolation. He looked around. The place where he and the old man were seemed to be a teleportation platform. Looking at other places, it was empty, with only ancient buildings standing. These buildings are different from others I have seen. They are very well preserved, but they look quite ancient. That's it? Lu Yu was confused. The old man glanced at him. Old man, I haven't been here either. If you ask me, who should I ask? Lu Yu. You are so sincere. It's hypocrisy. What's the point of being honest? Do you really think I can't understand what you're scolding me for? Well, you're so hypocritical. That's right. The old man nodded with satisfaction. Lu Yu looked around and tried to take a step. Boom. The first moment he took a step, a circle of light fluctuations appeared on the ground. Take the second step, same thing. This. Lu Yu hesitated for a moment and looked at the old man. The old man waved his hand. Don't look at me, I don't understand either. All right. Lu Yu could only choose to accept it. Maybe this was the characteristic decoration of Tianting? Dream floor? Lu Yu was too lazy to care. He moved quickly, passing one building after another. Then, at the end of this road, I was shocked when I took a look. I saw countless magnificent palaces floating in the sky in the distance. There is even a gate with 2 stone pillars. Is this the real heaven? Lu Yu was startled. Dig. Cao Nima, I thought I was in heaven, but I didn't expect this. It's so tacky. The old man praised him directly. Lu Yu. While the two were watching, a huge boulder floated in front of them at some point. The reception desk? Lu Yu hesitated for a moment and jumped up. The old man also followed. The next moment, the huge stone moved and headed towards the heavenly palace in the distance. This distance seems to be very short, but Wangshan is a dead horse. The closer Lu Yu got, the more he could feel the splendor of those buildings. Thousands of golden lights roll through the rainbow, and thousands of auspicious streaks spray purple mist. It is majestic, majestic, and reaches the sky. The two stone pillars don't look big from a distance, but when you get closer, you realize that they are not big, it's just a feeling. The extremely thick stone pillars are at least tens of thousands of miles thick. The stone pillar on the right is carved with a dragon. On the left, a phoenix. They are all flying in the clouds and mist, lifelike. And in the distance, those palaces emitted golden light and were extremely sacred. The only thing that made Lu Yu feel incongruous was, such a glorious and majestic place is lifeless and lifeless. It seems that you think so too. After noticing Lu Yu's regretful look, the old man said. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. At this moment, the stone pillar finally arrived in front of the two stone pillars. Nantianmen. After passing here, you will truly enter the heaven. Lu Yu took a deep breath and boarded the Nantianmen. Before he crossed the Nantian gate, his eyes seemed to have passed through time and space, passed through the carved vermilion pavilions, and saw the sixth-generation human emperor sitting on the throne, receiving the worship of countless gods. The past can no longer be pursued. Lu Yu shook his head and stepped into Nantianmen. The next moment, the two stone pillars of Nantianmen shook, dust fell, and the sound of dragons and phoenixes sounded. Countless palaces were spraying with rays of light, and amid the fairy mist, the surroundings suddenly became lively. Chapter 0548, Former Heaven, the sixth-generation Emperor. The surrounding area became lively. One after another, figures suddenly appeared and passed by Lu Yu. These people are all wearing gorgeous robes and are aloof from the ordinary. That kind of aura is definitely not ordinary at first glance. The most important thing is that there is a third eye on the forehead. Three-eyed God clan? Lu Yu's expression was slightly surprised. At this moment, one of them walked towards him. Lu Yu couldn't dodge, and the person passed directly through his body. Phantom. Lu Yu became even more surprised. The old man also stroked his beard and looked thoughtful. You just stepped through the Nantian gate, and you may have triggered some mechanism here, causing some of the past imprinted in this heaven to appear. The old man analyzed. When Lu Yu heard this, although he was confused, he nodded. It makes sense. After the words fell, he tried to take a step forward. However, these shadows did not disappear, but became more and more numerous. Let's go, you can't see them, they can't see you, they're not in the same time and space at all, these are all dead people. The old man waved his hand. When Lu Yu heard this, he was completely relieved and strode through the Nantian gate. The old man followed behind Lu Yu, and the same thing happened. After entering the South Heaven gate, the scene in front of him became more and more vast. The entire heaven seemed to come alive, with all kinds of creatures coming and going, flying in the air, driving cars, or riding beasts, which was extremely exciting. In this kind of frivolous bustle, Lu Yu just felt very cold. Not only did he not feel that the cold feeling disappeared, but it became more and more strange. Shaking his head, Lu Yu determined the goal. Are we going directly to where the human emperor is? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Mu Shui. Chapter 726. Let's go. The highest palace should be it. The old man nodded. Lu Yu looked up, looked at the 10,000-foot high palace, and headed in that direction. Lu Yu walked and stopped along the way, and finally stopped. He and the old man were now next to a pool that was far away from the edge. Or rather, it could no longer be called a pool. It was a sea. There were countless white lotuses floating on the water. In the center, there was an island. And outside the pool, there were white jade railings. And, beautiful girls. Many women were enjoying the scenery by the pool. A concept immediately emerged in Lu Yu's mind. Yaokai? Are all these girls fairies? Lu Yu looked at them carefully. Well, the girls in the 6th heavenly court period were also very distinctive. It's a poke. Lu Yu was happy. The old man glanced at him and snorted coldly. These people have already turned into white bones, just skeletons. If they don't transcend, they will eventually turn into yellow earth. Haven't you seen through it yet? What's there to see through? Since the brilliance will fade away, why not enjoy it when it's the most beautiful? Lu Yu curled his lips. The old man was a little annoyed when he heard this. I suddenly began to doubt whether you can take on this burden. Won't you know when the time comes? Lu Yu waved his hand and went forward. It's okay to take a look, but Lu Yu hasn't forgotten what the main purpose of this time is. Leaving here, Lu Yu went forward again. This time, there was no stopping on the road. I didn't know how far I had walked. Finally, Lu Yu arrived at the highest hall. Looking at the hall that couldn't be seen at a glance, Lu Yu sighed. Such a big palace, it's hard to clean it after living in it. Old man. Your attention is different from that of ordinary people. That's not true. Lu Yu snorted, looked around, and was about to step into the palace. But at this moment, many people from the three-eyed god suddenly appeared behind him. They walked through Lu Yu and the old man while chatting and laughing, and entered the palace. At the same time, the palace also burst into golden light, and a figure with a face confused by the law slowly fell to the highest point. The 6th generation of human emperor? Lu Yu was shocked. The old man was also stunned for a moment, and pulled his beard hard. This 6th generation of human emperor looks like a woman. Lu Yu. How do you see it? Body. You claim to have seen countless women, but this is it? The old man immediately cast a contemptuous look at Lu Yu. Lu Yu took a look and found that it was really the case. It's a woman. Then, the voice of the 6th generation emperor confirmed this. Stand up. The figure whose face was blurred by the law uttered a clear and pleasant female voice. Lu Yu tasted it carefully and made a conclusion. This is the voice of a queen. Bullshit, it's a girl's voice. Impossible. How can you still have a girl's voice when you are already the emperor? Old man, do you have a problem? What's wrong with me? Just tell me if you like 18-year-old girls. Why? Don't all men like this? You don't like it? The old man immediately cast a puzzled look. Lu Yu coughed and did not refute. Let me ask, who can refuse a youthful, bright, and energetic 18-year-old girl? Anyway, Lu, can't do it. While the two were arguing, the 6th generation emperor was still speaking. What puzzled Lu Yu was, he couldn't hear the voices of other phantoms, only the voice of the 6th generation emperor could. And what made him most upset was, perhaps the years spanned were too long. I can't understand a word. Old man, do you understand? Why do you feel that I understand? Because you are old. No, I only started to proclaim myself in the 7th era. The old man's words made Lu Yu nod helplessly. Okay. So, Lu Yu had nothing to do, so he ran around the entire hall, and even got in front of the 6th generation of the emperor, trying to see her face clearly. It's just a pity that the power of the law blurred everything. Even if I am a forbidden creature, this is the imprint of the law of the past, and I can't affect the past. If I can be so powerful, I don't have to worry about the weird source and the existence in the coffin. Just go to a certain time in the past and kill them in their infancy. Bored, Lu Yu sat on a chair next to the sixth generation of the emperor, watching all this quietly. The current situation should be that the emperor is handling government affairs, similar to the emperor going to court. But this is dealing with the affairs of the entire universe. Lu Yu watched for a long time and suddenly realized that being the human emperor was actually quite tiring. Finally, after an unknown amount of time had passed, as the sixth human emperor stood up, many of the three-eyed god clan's high-ranking officials began to retreat one by one. The sixth human emperor himself also headed for the back hall. Lu Yu gestured to the old man and followed him. He wanted to see if the sixth human emperor had any place to hide any records about strange creatures. Following the sixth human emperor, Lu Yu was walking and suddenly found that the figure in front of him was not moving. "Are you finally here?" As soon as these words came out, Lu Yu's body froze in place. Chapter 0549 A Conversation Across Time and Space, A Big Dream. "You are finally here?" Hearing this, Lu Yu's body froze in place. An unprovoked great fear surged into his heart. What's going on? Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 727. Are you talking to yourself? Lu Yu tried his best to deny it, but the question was, why did he understand it? Before, I had never understood the voice of the sixth generation human emperor. But now, I understand. Did you really say that to me? Lu Yu started to sweat on his back. How is this possible? Speaking to a latecomer after 3 epochs. Scalp tingling. You will come, I don't know when, but you will definitely pass through this time and space, right? The voice was still ringing, and the sixth generation emperor sat on the throne. Her eyes were fixed on where Lu Yu was. I can't see you, but I can really feel the intersection between you and this place in a certain time and space in the future. You are also the human emperor, right? Lu Yu. He admitted that he was a little panicked now. There is no way, everyone has to panic. Can you imagine a long-dead person talking to you across time and space? Lu Yu's heartbeat couldn't help but speed up, but the other party seemed unaware. I know that you will be surprised now, and I am also surprised. Only when I open my third eye can I see the illusion clearly. This may be a kind of destiny, and it gives me a glimpse of the future. It's amazing to say the least. I didn't expect that the universe could last until the 9th era, and that I could still see you here. Your name is Lu Yu, right? The other party was still looking in Lu Yu's direction. This time, Lu Yu saw his true appearance. The power of law on the face of the sixth generation human emperor dissipated, and a childish face appeared that made Lu Yu a little frightened. He doesn't look very old, about the same as Xiaoling, as if he hasn't grown yet. On top of the beautiful appearance, the third eye opened, and the golden eyes were staring in the direction of Lu Yu. Lu Yu took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. What's going on with the other party? The third eye of the tri-eyed god clan, with its penetrating time and space, has seen the future self? Yes, my name is Lu Yu. Lu Yu calmed down and looked at the other person and said. But the sixth generation human emperor could not hear Lu Yu's voice. Whether you responded or not, I can't hear what you said. In time, information can only be conveyed from the past to the future, but the future cannot convey information to the past. So I am very sorry that the 9th generation emperor, I'm destined not to see you. Lu Yu remained silent. What the other party said is indeed good. Due to the non-retrospectability of time, only you can see the other party, but the other party cannot see you. Because in my own time, the other party really existed. But in the other person's era, my own era has not yet begun. It's like a river, people upstream can write letters to people downstream. But obscene letters cannot naturally flow upstream and reach the top. This can be regarded as a restriction of the law of the universe, but Lu Yu doesn't know it. This kind of law is not under the control of the strange source. But if you think about it carefully, he probably isn't there. If the other party could control time and space, he would not exist. Lu Yu's mind went a little far, but he was quickly pulled back. That being said, I am also very happy to meet you, the 9th generation emperor. The 6th generation human emperor suddenly smiled in Lu Yu's direction. Lu Yu could clearly see that he was very happy on that childish face. This gave him some speculation. I'm afraid this human emperor is really young now. Well, you will be surprised by my age, because my father has died at the 5th Great Wall, and I can only take the position. Of course, it is meaningless to tell you this. Your origin is very mysterious, and you should not belong to our group. Universe. I think the reason why you came here is to find some ways to break the situation. The other party looked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu nodded quickly. Yes, I need some possible ways to break the situation in the longer term. I guess you really need it? Come with me. I have some secrets recorded here. The 6th generation human emperor stood up, and Lu Yu followed. When the other party passed by a maid, the maid looked a little frightened. Human emperor, who are you talking to? Well, a friend from the future. The 6th generation emperor smiled and then walked towards a loft. Lu Yu followed the other party and walked in after she opened the attic. You should also have come in. Now I can tell you that the secrets hidden in the attic are from the 6th heaven period. They need some special methods to open them. You must pay attention to what I say next. The 6th generation human emperor spoke up, and Lu Yu nodded quickly. I know. After the other party was quiet for 2 seconds, he spoke again. These secrets are hidden in the attic. The attic is divided into 4 areas, the Tianzi area, the Yuanzi area, the Suanzi area, and the Lingzi area. These 4 areas hide different things. The Tianzi area contains some secrets about the weird, such as their weaknesses, etc. You shouldn't need this. As for the Yuanzi area, there are ways to break the situation guessed by some predecessors. These are what you want. The Suanzi area contains the supreme magic of our three-eyed god clan. You can get it if you need it. As for the spirit word area, there are some treasures. Maybe there will still be some there when you go there. If necessary, you can take them. The 6th generation human emperor smiled. Lu Yu wrote all this down. Okay, I've told you all this, and you should remember it. Next, I'll tell you how to open these 4 areas. The method to open these 4 areas is actually very simple. You need a human emperor token. Of course, after I tell you this, I will hide the human emperor token somewhere in the heaven. After you come, can be found there. I'm thinking of a better place to hide it. The 6th generation emperor fell into deep thought. At this time, Lu Yu discovered. Her shadow became fainter at some point. Dissipating. Lu Yu was shocked and couldn't help but become nervous. At this moment, the 6th generation emperor suddenly raised his head. I have thought about it, and I will hide it underground on Yaokai Island. There is a black turtle there. You will find it in the Black Turtle Cave. Well, that's about it. My eyes can't hold it for much longer. Anyway, come on, the 9th generation human emperor. Since I can see you, it means that our 6th heaven will be destroyed. The heavy responsibility falls on you. I hope you can stop them. Goodbye. After the 6th generation human emperor finished speaking, she smiled. Then everything around him began to fall apart. The palace collapsed, and the shadow of the 6th human emperor also turned into fragments. The flower-like appearance is passing away. By the time Lu Yu came to his senses, everything around him was already covered in decay. The vermilion pavilion has decayed over the passage of time, and the ground is a mess, with corpses lying everywhere. Is this the real heaven? Lu Yu let out a long breath. Since stepping into Nantianmen, everything I have seen is an old scene etched in time and space. But now, is the real current situation in heaven? Everything is like a dream. But Lu Yu knew it. I have actually met the 6th generation emperor. And what the other party said. Lu Yu glanced around. The current location is exactly the attic where the 6th generation emperor brought him. The key to Yaokai Island. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 728. A flash of light flashed in Lu Yu's eyes and he left here. Chapter 0550 The Emperor's Token, the way to break the situation. Feeling uplifted, Lu Yu left here. The 6th generation human emperor has made it very clear that there are some feasible ways to break the situation that have been researched by some sages hidden in this attic. But now, what he has to do is to get this method to break the situation. Of course, the premise is to get the emperor's token. After leaving here, Lu Yu came outside. The old man was waiting boredly outside. When he saw Lu Yu coming out, he glanced at Lu Yu. What are you doing, kid? Staying in there for so long? Nothing. Lu Yu shook his head. After thinking about it for a while, he decided it was better not to talk about it. When the old man heard this, he didn't think much about it. What are you going to do now? Go to Yaokai. Lu Yu didn't talk nonsense and said the key points directly. The old man glanced at him after hearing this. There's something wrong with you, kid. What's wrong? You want to go over and see a woman again. Are there any women here? Lu Yu helplessly spread his hands. Indeed, all the surrounding shadows have now dissipated. The old man touched his beard and snorted. Okay, let's go take a look now. With that said, an old man and a young man walked towards Yaokai. A few minutes later, Lu Yu arrived at the Yaokai. Yaokai now is different from what he saw when he came in before. The Yaokai that I saw when I came in was as vast as a sea. But now, there is not much water left in Yaokai, and it looks like just a lake. In the middle of the lake, Lu Yu saw a small island. Is this Yaokai Island? Lu Yu thought of what the 6th generation human emperor had said to him. I'll go down there, Lu Yu said. The old man was a little shocked. What do you want to do, kid? Bath. With that said, Lu Yu jumped down. The water below is fake. Before the old man finished speaking, Lu Yu jumped down. Bang. Lu Yu, who was about to enter the water with a graceful gesture, hit his head on the bottom of the water. Lu Yu. Covering his head, Lu Yu looked at the bottom of the water, feeling a little confused. Water? You kid, are you stupid? Ha ha ha, this water is all an illusion and has dried up long ago. The old man stood on the shore, laughing. Lu Yu. He studied it carefully. I discovered that this water is indeed some kind of illusion. NM. When the water dries up, why don't you create an illusion? During the 6th heavenly period, formalism was too serious. Gan. Vomiting blood in his heart, Lu Yu stood up. Although all this water is an illusion, it may make Lu Yu unable to tell the truth from the false for a while, so naturally it will not be simple. Taking a deep breath, Lu Yu determined his direction and then galloped towards Yaokai Island. Not long after, he arrived in front of Yaokai Island. Black Turtle Cave? Lu Yu thought of what the 6th generation human emperor said. After thinking carefully for a moment, Lu Yu searched around the entire Yaokai Island. After searching for a long time, Lu Yu found nothing. Good guy, is the 6th generation emperor still hiding a little deep? Lu Yu frowned and thought for a moment, then suddenly thought of a question. After such a long time, could the entrance of the cave be buried? After pondering for 2 seconds, Lu Yu punched the ground directly. Boom! The ground shook, and large amounts of sand were lifted up. No. Lu Yu landed another punch. Still not. Without hesitation, Lu Yu threw several punches in succession. Boom! The entire Yaokai Island was trembling. Finally, Lu Yu saw a looming entrance to the cave. Stepping forward and pushing aside the sand, Lu Yu finally saw a cave entrance. This should be it. Lu Yu's mood became excited. Without any hesitation, he stepped into the cave entrance. The surrounding area was dark and damp. As he was walking, Lu Yu suddenly stopped. A row of teeth arranged on the ground. Lu Yu. What the hell is this? Going deeper, Lu Yu even saw some animal body structures. This made Lu Yu a little confused. Black Turtle Cave? Isn't this the mouth of a black turtle? After thinking about it carefully, Lu Yu suddenly realized. The entire Yaokai Island seems to look like a turtle. A turtle that is tens of thousands of meters long. Good guy, a mythical beast from the sixth heaven period. Lu Yu thought of this concept, but he was not worried about anything. After such a long time, it was obvious that this mysterious turtle also died that year. Feeling relieved, Lu Yu continued to step forward. After a few minutes passed, he stopped. Ahead, a ball of dense light was rising and falling. This is probably the human emperor's token. Looking at the golden token in the light, Lu Yu stretched out his hand. The next moment, the token floated into Lu Yu's hand. The emperor's token. Lu Yu felt very good as he rubbed the token with a warm texture. Now that the emperor's token is in hand, it's time to open the secrets in the attic. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 729. Lu Yu left here in a good mood. Outside, the old man had been waiting for a long time. Looking at the token in Lu Yu's hand, he snorted coldly. You kid, you must be hiding something from me. Lu Yu. There is no way, he can only spend half an hour to tell the old man about this matter. After listening, the old man suddenly realized. So that's it, but you kids spent so much time telling me about this, don't you feel you are wasting time? You asked first. Do you have to tell me when I ask you? Can't you not say it? You are so young and have no position. Can't you be as determined as me? The old man glanced at Lu Yu, his eyes full of pride. Lu Yu. What else can I say? I won't say anything next time. Taking a deep breath, Lu Yu went to the attic again. On the way, the old man asked Lu Yu a lot of questions, but Lu Yu didn't say a word. Good boy, are you sulking with the old man? The old man was happy. Lu Yu was also happy. I am firm in my position and don't talk, so I don't waste time. Okay, you are good, not bad, I learned it. The old man expressed his appreciation. Lu Yu shook his head and continued to move forward. Soon, the two came to the pavilion. According to what the 6th generation emperor said, the Tian area hides the secrets of the weird. I know this, so I'm not in a hurry. And the UN area hides the way to break the situation guessed by the sages. This is the purpose of my visit this time. The Xian area contains some magic from the 6th heavenly court period, and I can take a look at it when the time comes. The Ling area contains some treasures. This must be taken away. Take the UN first, then the Tian, and finally the Xian Ling. Lu Yu said to himself. The old man glanced at him. What are you mumbling about? I'm firm in my stance, I won't say anything. Old man. Seeing the old man's expression as if he had eaten something, Lu Yu was in a very happy mood. Without hesitation, he came to the Yuanzi pavilion. Then, he released the human emperor token in his hand. The next moment, the door of the attic slowly opened. The method to break the deadlock, here I come. Chapter 0551 Ancient Emperor Daoji, don't come over. The method to break the deadlock. Lu Yu said he was not excited, it was all a lie. These methods to break the deadlock of the sages may not necessarily be feasible, but they can bring a certain degree of enlightenment to oneself. At least it can tell oneself which direction to work hard. Otherwise, time waits for no one. If he really wants to break through to the limit and then stop the weirdness, it's too late. Taking a deep breath, Lu Yu stepped into the attic. As soon as he entered the attic, he could smell a rotten smell. Sediment in the years, no one has opened it for several eras, and everything here has been eroded by time. Fortunately, this is the heavenly palace, otherwise whether these things can exist is another matter. And now, in the Yuanzi pavilion, Lu Yu saw a piece of bookshelf. On these bookshelves, there are various ancient scrolls. Don't tell me that these are all ways to break the deadlock. Lu Yu was shocked. He picked up an ancient scroll casually, opened it, but found that there was nothing inside. Blank. What's going on? Lu Yu frowned. He glanced around and looked at the front. There was a desk there. On the table, there were 3 golden scrolls. Is this it? Lu Yu approached the desk. Picking up one of the scrolls casually, Lu Yu opened the ancient scroll. In a bang, pieces of golden fonts came into view. Ancient Emperor Daoji. The 6th heaven. At the moment these fonts appeared, countless information directly entered Lu Yu's mind. At the same time, a picture appeared in his mind. In the picture, there was a man in a golden dragon robe, crossing the Great Wall alone and attacking the endless weirdness. In the back, he seemed to be fighting with something, and the power of endless laws was lingering. In the end, this man in a golden dragon robe, blood-stained the outside of the Great Wall, turned into a golden light all over the sky, covering countless weird creatures. Afterwards, all these weird creatures died, and the black fog was also wiped out. And outside the Great Wall, a golden ocean was formed. Countless weird creatures tried to cross this ocean, but they were all killed. Is this okay? Lu Yu was shocked when he saw this scene. Only in the follow-up, very quickly, inexplicably, the laws of heaven and earth seemed to have been changed. The golden ocean flowing in front of the Great Wall was disappearing quickly. Finally, the weirdness appeared again. The scroll ended here, and Lu Yu frowned. He saw something. The one in the scroll should be the human emperor of the 6th heavenly court period. That is, the father of the 6th human emperor he met. She mentioned that her father died in battle. This old emperor tried to turn himself into a natural barrier to stop the weirdness. This was indeed somewhat useful. But later, the source of the weirdness directly changed some rules, making this natural barrier invalid. Lu Yu clearly remembered what the source of the weirdness said to him at the beginning. He is the creator, with the ability to create and rewrite rules. So, the old man emperor of the 6th heaven court failed. Everything he performed was still within the rules. Shaking his head, Lu Yu opened the second scroll. With a bang, another golden font came into view. Ancient Emperor Daoji, 6th heaven court. A picture appeared again. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 730. The person who appeared this time made Lu Yu a little frightened. It was a woman. A woman wearing a golden dragon robe. The one he saw. In his memory, the faces began to overlap. But what he saw now was obviously the 6th generation of the emperor from a much longer time. Her face was no longer childish. Her face was beautiful, as white as ice. Boom. She took action, and the momentum was extremely shocking. Countless weird things entrenched outside the sixth Great Wall disappeared in an instant. She also killed after the black fog and fought with some existences. The time here began to speed up. Lu Yu didn't know how long it had passed, and the sixth generation of the Emperor came back, covered in blood and weak. Obviously, she suffered a serious injury. Then a scene that shocked Lu Yu happened. This queen, her body was actually disintegrating. Flesh, blood, and even bones, turned into pieces of golden laws. Integrate into the Great Wall. This, is to turn into the Great Wall and merge with the Great Wall? Lu Yu was a little surprised. And later, the speed of time accelerated again. Weird sieges were blocked by the Great Wall. This surprised Lu Yu. Is this method feasible? But before he could think about it, in the picture, a giant hand that filled the vision suddenly slapped the Great Wall in the distance. On the Great Wall, a golden light burst out to try to resist. But it was useless. The Great Wall collapsed. Further on, it was the scene after the weird entered the city. Lu Yu had no intention of watching these. He felt a little cold in his heart. Did the Queen of the Sixth Heavenly Court die like this? My father turned his body into a natural chasm, but failed. The Queen tried to turn herself into the Great Wall, but was also defeated by the weird. In front of the absolute power that can rewrite the rules, everything seems too illusory. Lu Yu couldn't help but sigh. After looking at the remaining two scrolls, he could already guess. It should be about the fifth and fourth heavens. They were all destroyed. They became corpses. But even so, Lu Yu still opened it. Even if he didn't want to see these tragedies, he had to see them after all. Half a day passed. Lu Yu put down the last scroll. This is about the fourth heaven. They were also destroyed. 3 generations of heaven, a total of 5 emperors. Tried 5 different methods, all ended in failure. Weird, it seems invincible. What Lu Yu couldn't figure out was, what did the 6th emperor let him watch these, even the process of her own death, for? Telling himself that these methods, the ancestors have tried, and there is no possibility. Then, where are the methods that the sages have deduced, but cannot be done because of some factors? Lu Yu pondered over it. The old man came in at this time. Lu kid, you have been hiding in here for a long time, why don't you say anything? The old man came in and glanced at Lu Yu. Lu Yu shook his head. Looking for something. What is it? It is a record about the method of breaking the deadlock, but it has not been found yet, Lu Yu said. Hearing this, the old man picked up an ancient scroll and took a look after opening it. Hey, it's interesting, it's all wordless heavenly books. The old man's words made Lu Yu pay attention a little. What do you mean? Wordless heavenly books, you kid are stupid, what is hidden in it is about the weird method of breaking the deadlock. The old man looked at Lu Yu as if he was looking at a fool. You don't understand this. Lu Yu. You don't look very smart, these ancient scrolls probably need some special methods to really show up. Otherwise, if the weirdness really breaks in, what will happen? None of these things can be left, let alone for you to see. It seems to be the truth. Lu Yu thought about it and found it difficult to refute. He looked at the old man. Then what should we do? It's simple. I'll cut you with a knife, and soak these things in hundreds of liters of blood, and they will come out naturally. The old man looked at Lu Yu with a smile, and a knife several meters long appeared in his hand. Lu Yu. Don't come over here. Chapter 0552 Young man, I admire you very much, only transcend taboos. Don't come over here. Lu Yu took 2 steps back, and he looked at the several meter long knife in the old man's hand, and his scalp was numb. The old man looked at him with a smile on his face. Relax, what's the pain? Young people have to endure hardships, not to mention that you can get a way out by shedding a little blood. You've made a lot of money. If I'm not the emperor, I'd want to cut myself. Lu Yu. Looking at the old man who spoke earnestly, Lu Yu was silent for a while. Why don't you cut yourself? Forget it, I'm not the emperor. Hey, I really envy you. You've become the emperor at such a young age. You're really the best. The old man was full of emotion and touched the big knife in his hand. Okay, I'll give you a choice. Just say where to cut. Lu Yu. After a long silence, he took the knife from the old man. Forget it, I'll do it myself. Okay. I admire you very much. The old man threw the knife directly over. With one knife, he cut Lu Yu's toes.